custom made!
Greetings, Whitehead here, and today we take a quick break from the normal "this is the way things are" style video to visit the realms of theory and imagination. A thought struck me as I was sitting around the house searching for new video ideas. I was on YouTube Shorts, idly watching a bunch of scientific oddities, and slowly, the thought of what our greatest developments will be slapped me in the face. According to science, a Type 5 civilization will have harnessed multiversal energies and even draw energy directly from the stars themselves. So that got me thinking about games. I speak, of course, of what will the ultimate game look like. I don't know about you, but I feel that a game needs a controller. A proper controller, none of that old single-stick design that you have to balance out with your other hand or stick to a tabletop with the sucker pads on the base. And on the opposite end of the scale, no futuristic device that scans where your fingers are and reads the movements as inputs. No, I think a proper video game will, for the most part, always need to have a proper controller, and it seems to me that the basic design has already been found. The original PlayStation controller drew huge applause in its natural-feeling design. It just sits right in the hands. Each PlayStation controller since has emulated the same basic design and been copied from Microsoft for a reason. It just works, so there's no real need to change it. It'll be a different weight, of course, it'll be tweaked in minor ways, but if it's not broke, there's no need to fix it. Of course, a simple controller design won't theoretically work in all forms of game. For highly immersive games, then we will indeed need a method to record our movements so we can feel as if we're flying or whatever, because we won't want our hands taken up with making controller inputs. Meaning the game will need to be perfect at both reading controller inputs and reading our intentions without one. Good luck figuring that one out, future game engineers. As for the console, it's really not so important. It may be that the controller is all we need and links to remote servers that do all the real processing, as well as reading our movements if that's the chosen mode, but whatever, the tech is incidental. The real question here is, and it's a shame because we'll never live long enough to see it. That makes me sad! But what will the ultimate game be? If we make an assessment based upon the current trends, then we have to ask, what's the most popular game ever made? Well, if you give it a Google, you'll find the answer is Minecraft. Yep, not GTA, not Super Mario, not Pong, but Minecraft. Check my latest video on it if you haven't already. So what can we learn from this? The greatest game ever will most likely give the player the autonomy to create. Isn't that interesting? The greatest game ever most likely won't be about cars or jets or guns. It will be a platform to create. So to find out what we'll be creating, we have to push the concept. What do we want to create? Well, that's a lot more complex. Everyone is different. If I were to ask you, what's your ideal holiday? You may say a white sandy beach. Sun, bottomless alcohol and chocolate, or you may say sitting at home in front of the TV with absolutely no disturbances. We're all rather different in the great scheme of things, so the game will need to have the breadth to cover everyone's tastes. Within reason, obviously. Some things will have to remain illegal, as is proper. Like Joey, my main man Swole would state,
You need to do better.
Push it to the limit, Joey.
But essentially, anything will go. So, we're looking at a gaming space with near limitless customization options and graphics that can be anything from simple pixels, to being indistinguishable from real life, to appearing radically unreal. What sort of engine would have the capacity to produce this? Clearly, it will need to be AI, another troubling proposition that I cover in my very first episode titled, The Firstiest Episode Ever. So have a look at that if you haven't already. And it will have to produce all this in real time, with absolutely no rendering. That's right. Bloody Nora, not even Star Trek's holodecks had that ability, but it's a nut we'll have to crack if we want to make it. Fortunately, human ingenuity is limitless, so I have no doubt we'll get there eventually. Ultimately, we're all trying to reach something, and within the context of video games, we're looking for complete freedom. it seems to me that's basically the same goal of every endeavor in life. The freedom to go anywhere, do anything, be anything, know anything. All paths lead to Rome, as they say. And if that's true, then no matter what we do, we're all moving towards that great and wonderful singularity where there are no longer limits of any kind. And of all the roads by which we might reach that godlike status, video games are a pretty fantastic one to travel. Like and subscribe!